What's up, guys? Devil Dog Gamer here, and as few of you know, I had to take a trip last week to Texas to do an event for a game developer, which I'm not allowed to name yet, but some of you might already know who it was. And it was a pretty cool trip, but we'll talk about that later. This is more about my flight home from the trip and how United Airlines sucks complete asshole, like worst airline ever. So I want to say this first. This is not the fault of the game developer, nor the PR company that booked the flights. None of this is any of their fault. It lies completely on United Airlines, which sucks donkey dick, and I hope they're watching, because fuck you, honestly. Alright, so I had to fly into a place called College Station. I flew American Airlines there. Everything was fine, no problems, whatever. Did a layover in Dallas, Fort Worth. Nothing was wrong. So my day started the next day at 8 a.m., went to the airport, did a little puddle jumper from College Station to Houston Airport. That was United. But I flew to Houston, then I had a 2-hour layover. So the 2-hour layover wasn't bad, it's just kind of going along with the time and everything, just kind of chilling out. I'm not a layover person, honestly. I really don't like layovers, but, sometimes I can just, whatever. I found a nice Tom Clancy book in the whatever, one of those little shops. I started reading that because I'm a huge Tom Clancy fan. Rest in peace, bro, because he's fucking awesome. Did a 2-hour layover, so go to load up and stuff, and I see on the board for it says flight is overbooked. We need 5 volunteers, and it had like a list of names where you could have the names of the volunteers, people who would take a later flight, and there was no names on it. So I'm like, well, this is gonna be interesting as shit. So Houston Airport for United has this weird thing where you have to wait outside these gates and then 30 minutes before, when you start to board, you go through these other gates down to this other terminal to load on these planes. And so they call it up. I go on down there, and I'm like, all right, so let's see how this goes. So I walk down there, and I've never been on an overbooked plane before. I've never seen an overbooked plane. I've never had any airport mishaps whatsoever, and I've flown a lot. So I was kind of interested to see how this process would work, honestly, because usually airplanes are a giant clusterfuck to begin with, honestly. So I go down there, and it's just a little fucking ERJ 2000 or whatever the fuck, those little fucking giant private plane looking things. And I go up because I didn't have a seat number on my ticket. So I'm like, So I go up to the stand, and she's like, okay, I can't give you your... And I had this problem with American Airlines. They gave me a ticket without a seat number. So I just walked up to the thing, handed it to them. They gave me one with a ticket, with a seat on it. So it was no problem. So I figured that's how it was going to happen. So I gave it to her, and she's like, all right, I need you to just stand aside over here for a minute. And I'm like, okay. So they start letting everybody on the plane. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't like this. So I'm standing there at the kiosk while everybody walks right on by me. And I'm like, okay. So then it became me and two other women who were stuck there, staying at the kiosk. So everybody gets on the plane, and the chick behind the counter says, hey, this flight's been overbooked. You 3 can't get on this plane unless we get somebody to get off and take your place. And I'm like, hold on. I'm like, how do you sell more tickets than you have seats on a plane? And she's like, that's industry standard. Every airline does it. I've never had a plane overbooked before for any other airline. This is the first time I've flown United, and all of a sudden there's a fucking overbooked flight. So I'm like, So she's like, whatever, just give me the lip and stuff. They look for volunteers. Well, they got two other women, a mother and a daughter, to get off the plane. The 2 chicks are gone, and it was just me standing there with my dick in my hand. I'm like, cool, all right. So they're like, okay, we can book you into another flight that goes to, because I was flying to West Palm Beach, and I was going to get a direct flight. When I got on that plane, it was going to go direct from Houston to West Palm Beach. Done. My car was there, everything. So I'm like, well, what's your next options? Well, she's like, well, we can give you a flight to Tampa, and then it's a 10-minute layover from Tampa to West Palm. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. But she's like, don't worry, the gates are right next to each other. They're both United planes. You'll be able to get to there very easily. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So they gave me a $700 voucher. I have to stay for another 2 hours to catch this flight from Tampa. And I was like, whatever. So I was like, I'm a little delayed. And the Mrs. Devil Dog's been sick, so I kind of wanted to get home really bad, but I guess there was no other option, honestly. So I get on the plane for Tampa after waiting an extra 2 hours reading Tom Clancy. Get on the plane to Tampa, and I'm in the back. I mean, the back fucking seat. That's it. Back seat. So I'm like, great. If you've ever been on an airplane, you know how it is getting off the plane, especially when you have a short layover, like 10 minutes. Being in the back is terrible. You're not gonna make it. Takes like 20 minutes to get off the plane. So I'm like, well, this is gonna be interesting. So we do the flight, get over all the way to Tampa, and it touches down, and we're taxiing. So I pull out my phone and I look, and I got 10 minutes on the dot on this taxiway. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, it is 10 minutes on the dot, and we're on this taxiway. And some of these taxiways take like 5-10 minutes to get to the terminal. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm going to fucking miss this flight. It's like, I'm going to miss this goddamn flight. I am like raging because I was already mad about the overbooking. Like, I let the counter lady have it about this overbooking. I was like, just because something's an industry standard and you're allowed to do it doesn't make it fucking right. And I let them have it. They were not happy with me. So I let them have it about the overbooking. And now I'm even more pissed because now I'm a very real possibility of missing my flight and having another issue with this airline. So I'm like, fuck, man. So we get to the gate, and it's like 8 minutes left. It was a quick 2-minute taxi. I was actually happy. So it was 8 minutes left. So the people start getting off the plane, and I'm watching the time tick down. 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes. And when it got to 5 minutes, I turned to the flight attendant who was sitting there on his phone in the back, and I was like, hey, I got a layover, next gate over. I have 5 minutes to make it to the gate. And half the plane had already been unloaded by then, and it was a 737, so it was going to be a little while. And he's like, all right, I'm calling there. So he called, told him, he's like, they're going to hold the plane for you. Just get off as fast as you can, run right to the gate, it's right to your left. I'm like, all right. So looking at my phone, 4 minutes. And once it hit 3 minutes, it finally opened up. I took off because I had told everybody around me, I was like, hey, I have like literally no time to catch a layover. So they're like, just go ahead of us, I didn't have any carry-ons, I just had a backpack. So I bolt down this aisle, running down the terminal, turn to the left, the next gate, run down the stairs. I'm looking, there's a clock overhead. Got it, still 3 minutes, man. I've made it in less than a minute, Still get to the gate, I run up, and I see the two ladies who had, the woman and her daughter who have, took the same kind of flight as I did, who got stuck on the overbooking. They're like, they'll let the plane go early. And I'm like, what? And the chick behind the counter is like, yeah, the plane left 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, I'm on time. I'm early for this plane. Like, what the hell? How can you let a plane go early? And she's like, we're sorry, sir. I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. How the fuck do you let a plane go early than its scheduled departure time? Like, how the fuck does that happen? Like, I was pissed, and that was my bad. War Thunder, man, I tell you, can't win. So I'm like, how the fuck do you let the plane depart before its scheduled depart time? Not even by like a minute, but by fucking 10 minutes. That's crazy. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my fucking god, really? And it's like 8:30 by now. I'm like, I'm fucking pissed. I gotta drive 45 minutes from West Palm to get back to my house anyways. So it's just like, oh, I'm like, fuck, man. I'm steaming, like I'm shaking, like I'm just raging so bad. And I'm like, well, what are your next options? She's like, well, we have a flight in another hour and a half to Fort Lauderdale, and then you can catch a shuttle to your airport in West Palm. And that's a 45-minute drive from Fort Lauderdale Airport to West Palm. So I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, whatever, let's just do it. That's my only option. I'd have to stay there. So I give her my ticket, and she's like, I hate to tell you this, sir, but this isn't a real ticket. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is a boarding pass. She's like, no, this isn't a real boarding pass. I don't know why they gave you this. And she's like, and beyond that, you're not even on our manifesto to fly with the flight that left 10 minutes ago. So I don't know who put you in the system. And I'm like, so what the fuck does that mean? She's like, if you want to book this flight, you have to pay for it again. So I didn't pay for any of these flights. So I was like, are you serious? So these were all like, already paid for, already taken care of flights. And United completely foobarred this fucking thing. I'm like, are you serious? So now I'm even more pissed. I am like beyond pissed. I'm yelling and screaming like, what the fuck? They can't even get me a hotel. I'd have to pay for all this shit. I'm freaking out. I'm like calling the missus like, what the fuck do I do? Trying to call some of the guys, the PR company that did everything, trying to figure out everything. I'm raging. I'm raging hard. So I'm like, all right, already like a half an hour had gone by. It's 9:30 right now. All right, just keep in mind it's 9:30. So I'm like, all right, is there someone from United? Because this was a smaller carrier of United's, one of those like off-branch ones, but they're still United. So I'm like, is there anybody in like United I can talk to that's actually part of United that I can get this fixed? And they're like, yeah. So they take me up there, looking around. We spend 20 minutes looking for somebody from United and can't find anybody. There is nobody from United in this airport. They're calling security, everybody, everybody all around this airport for 20 minutes. And finally it comes back, everybody from United had gone home. So I'm looking at the chick, and I'm like, what can you do for me? And they're like, you can pay out of pocket for a ticket. And these tickets were like $500-$600 last minute. It was ridiculous. I'm like, for like a 45-minute flight. And I'm like, the hotels are gonna be no different. I can't afford that shit. So I'm like, fuck, man. So I'm looking around at my options, and I'm like, all right, I'm in Tampa. It's pretty much a direct straight shot across the state of Florida, because Tampa's on the west coast. I live on the east coast. It's a direct straight shot across to my house. I'm like, all right, so here's what I'm going to do. So I walk down to Alamo, got a rental car. I'm like, it's 3.5 hour drive, man. 3.5 hours plus the time it would take me to get back from West Palm Beach to my house, which is another 45 minutes. So it's going to be like 4 hours, 15 minutes. I'm like, let's do this. Rent a fucking car. And, everybody at Alamo was really fucking nice. Like, I rented this just the cheapest car I could. And then I told them my sob story, and they're like, nah, we got you, man. We're going to upgrade you for free. So they put me in this nice, big-ass, full-size, nice-ass car, nice sound system for free. And gave me a free GPS along top of it, even though I didn't need the GPS. And I started my journey. I started driving. I mean, like, driving across the state of Florida is the most barren, desolate drive ever. There's nothing out there but, like, cows. It feels like you're in Texas all of a sudden, because there's just nothing out there once you get out to the middle of Florida. So it was a long drive. I mean, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I've been up. I was out the night before drinking, so I was still tired from all the time I was out drinking with all the other YouTubers and stuff, and just exhausted. So I drove all the way across, man, 3.5 hours, and I got on 95. I started pushing down to West Palm, and I couldn't make it. So I went home, stayed the night, went in the morning, and of course my bag was already waiting for me in West Palm Beach. I didn't have my bag at all. They kept it on the plane. So I stopped at the house, got some sleep, woke up real early, drove down to West Palm, turned in the rental car, everything fine, checked out with that, walked over to the airport, got my bag, told United, fuck you, and then went and got my car and drove home. And by this time, I'm just dead to the world, man. I was so tired. I had to drive 3.5 hours across the state of Florida because United fucking left me at this airport with nobody to talk to. And I was pissed. I was pretty fucking pissed, honestly. And, it was crazy. I've never experienced an issue like that with an airline. Never, ever, ever. I've had some short layovers, like 5-minute layovers. Always made them with other airlines. I've never seen a plane leave early. I've never been overbooked in a flight. And it's just insanity that this happened. And honestly, my word to you is don't ever use United Airlines. They are the biggest fucking cocksuckers in the entire world. Like, what they did, first of all, selling more than you have, it should be fucking fraud. How can you sell more seats on a plane than you already fucking have? That's fucking retarded. Leaving someone in an airport without a real fucking ticket for a plane that left 10 minutes before its scheduled time with nobody at the airport to help him, figure it out is unacceptable. My word to the wise, don't use United Airlines. United Airlines, fuck your shit.